Okay, so let's begin. Today we're going to do the form processing topic. I just posted it. It wasn't there before. Let's see what topic is that one. I think that's topic 8. Let me see. So on the course topic, yeah, it's topic 8. So we're going to be doing today basically the same thing we did at the end of the exercise 7. We're going to add uh, Well, we're going to be adding specifically IDs, the on-click event, and the function handler to do the particular problem in the client side. So let's do the presentation. Oh, hold on. This is not the lesson. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I just had the wrong one. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so let's expand this. Okay, so for processing in JavaScript, so this is the client side. You might actually do this even if it's server side, because if you have a Ajax application or a fetch application, you actually access the elements via an ID. You don't use a name. For those of you familiar with server side, if you were to send this data to be processed by the server, you would have to use name. IDs are not sent by the form when you submit it, but names are. But if you were using the technology like Ajax, you would use IDs. Okay, so basically, to process forms, you are going to be adding IDs to any of the controls, specifically those that are going to capture user data. So text, this is a text box. It's going to capture user data. So it has an ID. The buttons are going to drive the application. So this is basically an event-driven application. So if you have a button, you're going to, in this case, if the user clicks on the button, we're going to execute this function. This function would be called the event handler because it is handling the on-click event. So here will be the definition of the function, the script element, and then its function calc. So here's a full example. So calc is the event handler. Notice the way that the text boxes are being accessed. How is this text box being accessed? This one here, the first one, is being accessed by ID. Notice the ID is num. So what do we have? Num. But what's this for? What is the dot value for? The value attribute the value property stands for the content of the text box. So the value attribute uh, is used to either read the content of the text box or override it. So if the ID is name, uh, for example, you can use num.type. What would be the value? Text. Num.id. What would be the value? Num. So there is also you don't see it here, value attribute that would put the, remember when we did the on click, we added the I don't know, not this course, sorry. Um, so in this particular case, well, maybe we'll add the value attribute so to see why we are using the value attribute here. You need to understand how come we're using that value. Okay, so we're going to be converting numbers string to numbers, integers, we're gonna use parse int. So this is actually similar to Java. Parse int is actually a function in Java, but in Java you do integer dot parse int. In JavaScript you just do parse int, and the parse floated for real numbers. So let's see if we can see an example. Yeah, let me go to the assignment for a second. Let me download the exercise 8 files, which we're going to work on today. Okay, let me work on this one here, on the sum. Okay, Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let's open it. Okay, so let me add a value attribute to the text box. Value equals John. I'm not making it a number, I'm just making it a string. And the value for number 2, it's John 2. And the value for the third text box, I'm going to use John 3. So I want to show you what does the value attribute do. What does it do? What does this value attribute actually symbolizes? Or reads, rather. Let me just save it. Okay, so let me run it. Let me run it. You see that John is visible here. This is the value attribute. So the value attribute is the content of the text box. So notice that we have John, John 2, and John 3. How come we have that? If you look at the source, notice that I added the value attribute. So whatever the value attribute, whatever is on the value attribute will be displayed in the text box. So is it that clear what the value attribute is? The value attribute is basically the attribute that has the actual value of the text box. So going back to the presentation, let's go back to the presentation a bit. So whenever you have an ID and you want to read the value of this text box, you would use num.value. Num will be the name of the ID. And why can I use num? In HTML5, they made IDs into objects. So whatever you define as an ID automatically is incorporated into an object. Otherwise, you would need to use get element by ID. But this is one of those things that I know automatically that you're using ChatGPT, because I'm telling you in class that you don't have to use it, and you give it to me. So usually just means because ChatGPT always uses get element by ID. So so you don't have to use get element by ID to reference a text box, because the ID itself represents the ID name, I should say, represents the object itself. So it makes the get element by ID. You don't have to actually do it. Okay, so the value attribute is the value inside the text box. So this is the input. So the input is num.value. And we are assigning it to the answer.value. So the second text box is where we put the answer. So the ID of the answer is ANS. So if you want to change the value of that text box, you put it in the right side of the assignment, rather on the left side of the assignment statement. So that's why we're using the value attribute. So the ID is ANS, but you need to add the attribute value, the that value. I guess in a yeah, I'm not gonna in CSS this would be called property, but in the object oriented a method, and we have attributes. So there's a confusion as to whether we're gonna call this an attribute or a property. I'm calling it an attribute more than a property. Okay, so the property usually is under CSS. You put the width equals this. That's what I mean by the property. Uh, okay, so okay, so I to emphasize what I just presented, I wrote this on paper. The only reason why I wrote it here is so that you can basically look at it in a different way. So once again, to process a form, you need first of all IDs. Where do you put the IDs? Only in the text boxes. So the first thing you need are IDs, and you put it in the text boxes. The second thing is you're gonna create a function for each button. So the easiest way to solve a problem that has multiple buttons is to have a separate function per button. You're going to link the functions to the buttons by using the onClick event. So this here, notice the example here. Uh, so the onClick event here, we're linking the one function. This is the one function. Linking the one function with the onClick event. So the button corresponds to the one function. This one is not really a button, it's a reset. So it'll reset the form, it'll blank out all the values. So this is not really a button. This one is an actual button. So once again, you need IDs. What needs IDs? Text boxes. Second, you have to create a function for the button, and you link it using the create. So every single button is going to have a separate function. So if you have three buttons, you would have three functions. And let's see. And I guess the last thing is whenever you want to access or change the value of the text box, you have to use this value attribute. So you would use, if the ID of the text box is ANS like it is here, you would use ANS that value, not ANS. The ANS is the entire object. You need to define what in the object you want. In this object, you only want the value inside the text box. Because again, if you wanted the ID, you would put ANS.ID. So it's not peculiar to value. You can use any of these attributes. You can use any of them. So we're interested only in the value attribute. Same thing for the input and for the output. There is an additional handout that I put here, this one here, more samples. So we'll look at it later. I don't think it's gonna be useful because it's quite extensive. But if you would look at it, notice the use of the get element by ID. This would be an answer that ChatGPT would give you. Uh, Once again, you don't have to use get element by ID if you use the ID as the object. So what you should notice here is the form has how many buttons? Four, but the last one doesn't count, only the first three. Notice that this button, the first one has Calc 1. How do I know that? On click Calc 1, so we have the reference of the function. We're connecting the calc1 to the particular button by using the onClick event. The second function is linked to the second button. And how about the third one? The third one is supposed to do both answers. So instead of creating a new function, I just called both of them at once. So you can do that. That would save you, that would prevent you from having to create a third function. Once again, this is not going to make too much sense until you actually try it. So let's try it. So we're going to do now exercise 8. So download the exercise forms. So you need to download the exercise 8 forms. That would be the exercise 5 files. And this one is going to be more interesting than the others. The reason is I realize that a lot of you are tired of the same old math problems. So notice the one at the end. We have a string problem. So this is going to be interesting. These two are relatively easy. You'll see why. You'll see why. But this one is more complicated. So let's see. Does anybody know what tidal case is? I'll put it in the notepad. Okay, so let's say the in this problem we're going to read the enter first name. So let's see the user entered John. And I'm purposely putting upper and lowercase. Enter last name. So let's see the user enters Dunn. So John Dunn. Let's see. So the first answer is the uppercase full name. So the full name in uppercase would be John Dunn. The second text box, output text box, is the lower case, so that would be full name in lower case. So that would be John Dunn. And the most difficult one is the title case. So full name in title case. So that would be uppercase. So the first letter of the word is uppercase and everything else is lowercase. That's title case. That's title case. So the reason why this is difficult, this one is difficult, is because you actually have to extract a single character from the string. So it's not that simple. So okay, let me just convert it to uppercase. No, you need to extract J and then convert it to uppercase. So I decided. So that's why I have this problem anyway. So because I know you're bored with math problems, huh? So this is a little bit better at string problems. And we're not really used to doing arrays, which nobody likes. Okay, so do the first problem. I told you to download the files that you need for the forms. So what I'm referring to is these files here. Download them. Oh, by the way, the handout on strings that we're going to use is this one. But we'll use it when we get there. We'll use it when we get there. Okay, so I downloaded the exercise files. So we're going to work on some. So let me create a folder. So let me make this folder exercise 8 answers. Actually, yes. It's going to put CIS385 exercise 8 answers. Okay, let me put this in my working folder, which is, I guess I'll use this one for now. Okay, so let me open it with Visual Studio Code. So that should have all the forms, all the forms. Okay, so let me open the folder. Okay, so now let me run the PDF. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Number one, add JavaScript to the sum form. So that's this one here, such that the sum is computed when number one and number two are given. So that's basically the task. Clear supposed to clear all the text boxes. So that's number one. So there is a total of 4 problems. There's only 4 problems. Okay, so going to the Visual Studio Code, I'll remind you what are the steps. Okay, so how you approach this? Step one: add IDs to text boxes. So let's do that. So we have, this is a text box. This is another text box and another. So we have a total of 3 text boxes. So all of them are going to have IDs. So let me add the ID, ID. Normally you choose a name that's appropriate, basically that symbolizes the value that it's supposed to have. So the input is supposed to have number one. So probably the best name is number one, but I'm just going to use short num1. The second text box is going to hold the second number. So a good name for it would be num2. And the last text box is the answer. So a good name would be ANS for answer. So that is the first issue, adding all those IDs. So I added num ID1, rather I added ID num1, I added ID num2, and I added the last ID equals to ANS. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, I guess I create the event handlers functions. So one per button. So let's see, how many functions do we have here? Buttons. We only have one because the last one is a reset. So we only gonna have one function. So let's create it. So I'm gonna create a function. I guess let me unindent this 1 second. Let me unindent it. Okay. So I'm gonna use the script element, and I'm gonna define the function. I guess I'm gonna call it sum. So that's my event handler. I haven't populated yet. I'm just creating the template, so to speak. So step 3, link the functions to their corresponding button. And in this case, we only have one button. So we're going to link, I'm going to put here in a parenthesis on click. We're going to link them by using the on click event. So type on click and then the function name. The function that we have is sum. So this is a function call. So this is the event handler. So this is where we put in the function call to the sum function. So once again, this is what I just added. I guess I'm gonna create a step 4. Reference each text box value by using the value attribute. Okay, so these are the 3 things that we've added. We've added the function that's going to execute when the user clicks on the sum button. That's called an event-driven application, basically, because it's driven by the clicks in the form. So number 1, how did we do this? We added IDs. So I added these IDs. I added 3 IDs. Second, I added the event handler. Oops, event handler. Forgot the R. I added the function that corresponds. So this function corresponds to button 1. If we had another button, we would use another function and we'll link that to the button to the other button. Next, we link that function with the button by using the onClick event, which is what we did here. And the 4th step has to do with the processing. How are we gonna actually process the data? We're gonna use the value attribute. So let's begin. So let's see, answer that value is gonna equal to parse int number that value. No, actually, this is the sum problem. It's probably more accurate to use parse float for a real number. So that would be number one dot value. So we're adding those two numbers plus parse float. So this is the sum problem, num2 dot value. Why do we have to use parse float? So this is basically a typecasting operator. Anytime you read any data from an input from a graphical construct or control, it's always going to be as a string. So if you want to use it as a number, you have to convert it. One way to convert it is by using the parse float, the parse int, but you can also use number. You can use this one as well, which we'll talk about much later, the number object. Okay, so that's the processing logic is here. So this is the processing logic. We're going to read the two values, add them, and assign it to the output text box. That's the processing that we're going to do. Okay, so let's test it. Let's test it. So make sure we save this as, yeah, I'm gonna save it as exercise 81.html. Oh, what happened to my folder? Okay, yeah, I was referencing another one. Sorry. Okay, so here it is. So let me run it. So here it is. So there it is. The whole problem. Make it slightly bigger. Uh, so that's the entire problem from beginning to end. And let me run it. Okay, so I forgot to clear the value attribute, but let's do this. So I'm gonna have to clear John. So I'm gonna put a 10 uh, for number two. Let me add, let's say 7. So if I click on sum, I should get 17. So notice I do get 17. Yeah, JavaScript is JavaScript is cases. No, it's some function. The uppercase here. This is a side issue. Uh, you don't have to show you that you can use other events. We can do the enter number here. Enter number here. And then we can do the onFocus event. OnFocus event number one dot value equals to I'm gonna show you how this works. I added the unfocus event to the first one. So when I put the cursor, it disappears. We're gonna be doing that later on, but on click is not gonna be the only event we're going to use. This one is using the on focus event. So that's how you can put it up. So we're mimicking the placeholder. Uh, the one that actually goes here, which I did, one of the many things that I did not discuss, instead of value, you would use a placeholder. So if you're actually making this commercially, you would use placeholder. And you'll see how placeholder works. Let's see how it works. So let me refresh. So notice that it is a little bit color is more gray, and when you click, they're still there. But the good thing about this one is that every character is erased as I enter a character. So let's say 100. You see, it disappeared. So it did not. It did not disappear on focus. It disappeared when I entered a key. So this one is key based, the placeholder. But we can mimic it by using the on focus event. Okay, so that's number one. Any questions with number one? Let me remove this John here and John. Okay, so that's number one. Ready to move on to the second? I believe it's the sum difference problem, or let's see. Yeah, the sum difference. So number two, uh, how many buttons do we have? No, the number two. Yeah, but the clear doesn't count, so we only have one. This one, we only computed one answer. Number two computes two answers. So that's what's different about this one. So what's different about this one is that when you're given the two values, you're going to compute their sum and put it in the sum text box and compute their difference and put it in the difference text box. So that's basically the second one. So we're going to use, let's see, that would be sum difference. This one here, sum difference. So let me call it, or rather, create a new file based on that one. It's going to be called exercise 8 number 2. So I'm leaving the originals there. So what is the first step? Add IDs. So let's see how many text boxes we have. In the other one we have 3. In this one we actually have 4 text boxes, 4 of them. So we have 4 of them. So we're gonna add an ID on all the text boxes. It doesn't matter whether it's input or output, we're gonna add an ID. To make it more interesting, because if I call it number one, we already did. So let me call it X, Y, um, W, Z. Just to make it more interesting. So I added the IDs as single letters, X, Y, W, Z. Actually, the W should be before the X, but anyway. The second step is to create a function per button. So we're gonna create a function per button. So we only have one button. So I'm gonna create the script element. I'm still not populating the function. I'm just putting the template. So function, I guess I'm gonna say calculate sum and difference. So that's my template for the function that's going to be linked to the button. And the third one, link them using link function using on click on every button. So step three, we add the on click event and we put and we put the name of the function. So we're basically creating a function call. So the quick event is going to call the function. So that's step three. So let's process the forms. By that, we're going to use the value attribute. So we have two answers. One is going to be called, what is the first answer? Notice the ID. The ID is W on the first answer. So I'm gonna say W, that value equals. So that's gonna be 1. And the second output is, the ID is Z. So the second one is Z, that value. So we're going to have two lines instead of one for the sum and the other one for the difference. So we're going to read the number. So we're going to put x star value plus y star value. And in the second one, we put the difference, x star value minus y star value. So this is the sum and this is the difference. And of course, it's not going to work because we need to do what? Well, the plus is going to work. I'm not sure about the minus, but the plus will work. The, you have two strings. It's going to put them together. The two strings. I'll do it. I'll do it. Let's see. Let me let me get rid of this one. So I'm not converting it to numbers. Let's see if it's smart enough to convert them to numbers. So let me run it. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if it's smart enough. 100 plus 1,000. You see what happened? It just put them together. So it did not do it did not do arithmetic. It did string string concatenation. So that's why you need the parse float. You have to convert it to a number, and then JavaScript would know what you want. So parse float. So this is for the sum, and here is for the difference. I'm going to test it. I haven't tested it yet. Let's see, 1,100. So that should be 1,100. Okay, and the difference 900. Uh, Talking about something else. Does anybody know about the is this a new format for the resume? It's a new format. Yeah, somebody was discussing with somebody else this format. So I was just wondering what format that was. I said it's a for creating a resume. I was wondering if there was a different standard now. What would be the current standard? So you guys, yeah, I don't know. Just in case. Anyway, so I'll let you do the third one, and that will be extra credit, but only 5 points, because only one problem. The other extra credit is going to be to do the title case, but that's for the other problem. So yeah, for later. So let's so this is the lab part. This is when you where you get to do your lab. If you want extra credit, so I'm gonna start you up. So you're going to use this one. You're gonna use that one. The sum difference. That one has three on-click buttons. That one. So let me give you the template. You're gonna add it. You're gonna add the IDs, but I'm gonna give you the templates, the function templates. So let's call the first function one. Very creative name. function 2 for the second one. You can use other names, function 2. I'm just trying to let you know that the name is not important. You just put names that are symbolic with what it does, so that when somebody reads it, you understand what the function is supposed to do. In function 3, I'll give you the hint. For the last one, do this. Do on click equals to 1, 2. So that would be the only hints I'm going to give you. So you really don't have to worry about the third button, only the first two.
That would be 8.3, right?
Hmm?
That would be 8.3.
Yeah, number three. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is the, yeah, we're doing the, no, not this one. Yeah, actually, I cannot find it. Yeah, this is number three. This is number three. So you should call it save as exercise 83.html. So let me add the assignment. So once again, this would be for exam 3. So let me see how many I have already. Okay, let's see how many you have. Exam 3, 1. Oh, we only have one. Okay, so this is gonna be number two. Number two. So exam 3, number 2. So this will be the second extra credit. Okay, so you should see this one here to submit it. But you need to refresh. You need to refresh the page. on one of the articles, I did hear that the blue collar jobs, like when you drive a truck or that type of job, is safer than the white collar jobs where can be eliminated by AI. So, but I don't know if that's true. Don't quote me.
I would say
Don't ruin your career just because I said that.
at the basic level, I would say would be the case. At the basic level. Same thing with distribution and everything else.
Yeah, for me, they should really not. Yeah, what happens if if we don't have to do anything? You know, humans, we have to do something.
Yeah, it's pros and cons.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen is the people who are adapt with changes of technology come up suddenly. Then when you go to the bank, you see people that copy checks. When some still look like they're not.
Of course, eventually, even the blue collar job, eventually when they have robots, actual robots, then eventually that would be fixed. But that would, I mean,
Yeah.
we're still very far away from that.
Like I said, the one job is guaranteed safe. It's about the what? Barber. Yeah.
What you worried about that?
You trust a robot? Yeah.
May I help you?
Just saying. Do we have, for example,
Hmm?
for example, right?
Yeah, just first. Technically, we supposed to have five, but we most likely don't have four. So we actually don't have a final. The project is the only thing you submit during finals.
Oh, so the project is the
Yeah. I'll just give you 4 more minutes. I mean, you can always do it by midnight, and we'll do the last one, number four. We'll do the last one. That one is more interesting.
same.
Hmm? Oh, sorry. Which one?
So let me see. So, so
No,
those things we keep the original, right?
yeah, the 881. Yes, 81 is for the sum.
A2
8 2
is
is for
from
the
this
sum
one.
difference. Yeah.
Okay, and A3 is for this one, right?
No, for the sum 2.
Oh, from A2. So general. So usually can I say like all those four we never change. We only change this three, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we have to use that one.
Yeah, right. You should make it smaller.
It's like similar to the other.
Smaller.
Yeah.
More here, maybe more smaller.
For the value.
Okay.
This value.
82.
Yeah.
80,
Hmm? No, no.
For some div two, this the correct format? Options. It does produce right input, but I use A, B, C, D.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
On click, and then for uppercase, this is the steps I'm going to use, but like get the name, so like day to the day, put the all uppercase, all lowercase, and then title case, right? So I do three functions for
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Three functions.
That's what we're gonna do right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna start that one.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's. So you have until midnight for this one. So I'll give you something to do on the train, I guess. Open your laptop and start coding. Anyway, okay, so let's move on to the next one, and that's number 4. So this is number 4.
That's your app we like online session.
Hmm?
Like Friday in person.
Uh, I'll ask the chair. I don't want to get into trouble. I'll ask the chair. Yeah, I'm still gonna be here, but like, for those of you that want me to Zoom it,
Because like I have like the other course like they
no, yeah, but I'm still coming. So for me, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so okay, so let me do strings, the string handle. So if you want to convert a string to uppercase, you just use this one. If you want to convert it to lowercase, you use this one. So you see, it's not really that. It's not rocket science. Uh, so let's use this too. So that's what we're going to do. By the way, for number 3, for the title case, you're gonna use that one. It allows you to extract a specific letter. So anyway, so let's do the first two. Okay, so that would be the upper title case. So let me say this number 4. So exercise 8.4. Let's see what the issue is. Yeah, I made a mistake here. You already saw this error. This should be what? Text outline here. So instead of test, text outline. So it was used to be test. It should be text. Okay, let me, I guess, remove all the indentation. Let me remove it all. Okay. Okay, so the first step, add IDs. So we have a total of 5 text boxes. The first one, I'm gonna call it properly. I'm gonna call it first. The second, I'm gonna call last. This one, I'm gonna call it upper. The next one, I'm gonna call it lower, and this one, I'm gonna call it title. For title case. Normally, you're supposed to name the variables with what it's associated with what it does. So you're supposed to the variables are supposed to be named correctly, so to speak. The second step, we're going to have one function per button. So how many functions I'm going to need? Apparently four. So script. So function one, function two, oops, function three, and function four. Those are not good names, okay? These are not good names. Now we're gonna link the buttons to those functions. So the first one is going to be for the capital. So that's going to be on click. Call the function one. On the second one, on click, call the second function. The one that you're going to do is this one, the title case, on click, the third function. And for that one, you're gonna get a week to do. It is not easy, unless of course you use AI. Would I use AI if I were you? Yes, I would. Well, you're supposed to actually. Supposed to. Four. Oh, let me spell it here. Okay, so four. So we have the four functions. The last one, to make it functional, change the last one to reset. So change that to reset. Mhm. Oh, how come nobody told me here? I was changing the type. ID, ID. Yeah, that should have been IDs. ID, ID. And now let me add the type text. Okay, let me add it to the other ones. Thank you, thank you. I didn't. Okay. So let's do the first one. We're going to use the first one is for uppercase or lowercase.
Uppercase.
Okay, so we're gonna use the. So notice, by the way, when you create variables, if you're working as a programmer, this is what you're supposed to use. It's every word that begins with an alphabet. So you're supposed to name the variables in this form. It's a standard of naming variables. So used to with the use uppercase, the next word, the first letter is uppercase. Okay, so we're gonna use two uppercase. So that's going to be let's see, upper, that value equals to first, that value, to upper case. I may want to put it in parentheses just in case. I don't think I did. It depends on the associativity rules. The dot notation goes left to right or right to left. So I'm using parentheses to make sure that this is evaluated first. I don't think I need it, but I'm putting it there. So that's the first name. Now I'm going to add a space. You have to add a space. And then the last name. Last dot value dot to uppercase. So this one, just once again, I'm gonna use parentheses to make sure that it evaluates correctly. So that's the first one.
Professor,
Hmm? Oh, that's because of this people name. No, bef- before I understood how that worked, it took me a while. No, no, it's always you only learn it after it happens to you.
I know.
When you're using.
But yeah, I think it took me like a few hours to figure it out. How come it's not working? And then you actually see that there's two modes to the
Yeah, just noticed I was like, oh,
insert mode and the what is it the override mode. And of course, once you know it, you say, "Oh, it's easy," but actually it isn't. That one is not easy to figure it out.
so I was like, well, I'm messing them up because that's
Let me test the first one. Let's see. I haven't tested it. Okay, so let's see. John Doe. So let's see uppercase. Oh yeah, so it did work. So I know you can do number two, isn't it? Just change the upper to lower. Oh, I'll do it. You literally all you have to do is just copy that. Instead of upper, you're gonna put lower. Literally on all of them. And this one changes from upper case to lower case. But of course, you're supposed to look at the functions from the string handout. I will do the last one for you. 1, 2, 3. That's what you do for the last one, number 4. You just call each function individually. Did anybody hear about the teleportation that they actually did quantum teleportation? I'm not sure. I don't understand the physics of it, but they said that it's a type of teleportation from one location to the other by using quantum mechanics. Okay, entanglement. Okay. No, but entanglement just means that whatever you do here, you do here.
Because
But
of the distance.
it doesn't matter the distance. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
You just know how to figure out what's.
That's it. That's actually very impressive if we can achieve
We'll
that.
figure that out. We figure out when to start a travel.
Yeah, yeah, right.
You say that title case will be
Okay, I'll give you the hints for title
it will
case.
be char art.
Number one, first name letter. So you first get the first name letter. So that would be first character at 0. 0 is the first character. So you have to isolate the first character of the first name. The second thing is you have to isolate the rest of it. So how do you get the rest of it? If you look at the string handout, you're going to use either substr or substring. Let's see. Yeah, the best. Yeah, this is the easiest one to use. This. So to get the rest of it, based on that, you're gonna do a rest of first name equals to first. What is the name? Is sub str. Yeah, sub str. So that would be sub str one. It actually has two parameters, but if you read the what does it say? If the length is not given, if that second character is not given, it's going to assume that you want the rest of it until the end. That's what it says. If omitted, the rest of the string is extracted. So, and that's the only hints I want to give. That's it. So you should, from this one, be able to do it. Okay, so let me take attendance. But also, you see how the by expressing what you want to do with that one, it tells you exactly what this one is being used for. So you're supposed to use names that are meaningful on what value they contain. Well, I should have said let. I should declare the variables. Do you have to use let? No. In JavaScript doesn't care, but you should use something that tells that you're declaring it for the first time. Oh, let me add it to the. So this will be number three. Number three. Another plus five on number three. So some of you are gonna get so much extra credit you don't even have to take the exam. Yeah. I have to watch it. I have to watch the extra credits.
I'll watch it. Keep going.
It's wrong?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. This is a with issue. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
This,
okay.
it
Yeah.
is fine.
If this one is fine, but this is the.
No, no, yeah, just
Okay.
just the with issue. Just the with issue. It's fine. So this one you have until Saturday, I guess. So this to do exercise 8, number 4, title case.
Question.
Sure.
So you could use, you said use substring, right? But could you use splice also? Or slice?
It's likely to create an array. Yeah, if you want to,
So-
if you want to create an array.
I was looking at, I did a upper value first one, like same format, but then would I could put substring here if I wanted to, right? Or I have to use, like, is there another format for substring compared to splice?
No, there's two. See, substring and substr. The one.
But like, let's say if I were to put like sub str here, it's, or, no, yeah, here.
Yeah, you're right. It was
That would
pretty
be
good.
the same thing, right? So then,
Actually, I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure.
I was looking at the handout.
Because slice converts the string to an array.
Oh,
So the output is an array.
okay. And then substring just turns.
Just returns a string, whereas
Okay.
slice returns an array.
So you can put anything into the slice essentially. You can put 0, 1, 2, 3 and get like any number
No,
or
you,
letter.
you have to let it know what is the delimiter character. So it creates an array per.
Okay.
So if you have first name and you put space as the delimiter,
Then
first is the first cell,
Mhm.
the first element in the array, and the last will be the second element in the array.
okay. Cool.
So probably slice is probably not the best
Best way to do it.
because of that. You could use do a loop of character out. So you extract every letter
Oh,
and add it one by one.
wouldn't that be super long?
Yeah, but if you,
Okay.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, why if it's already done, why reinvent the wheel? I agree.
But no, I wanted to learn because I was looking at Stack Overflow and they're saying that they do the same thing essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Like one's for array and one is for string. So like my VS Code told me to use slice instead of substring. So I was like,
It probably safer.
it's suggested.
So it may be, yeah, that's also another issue. There is the new I forget the name of the latest method of programming. There is only to enter program functional programming, where you're supposed to only use safe.
Safe methods
Methods,
to
yeah.
call and
Yeah.
use. Okay, cool. But I mean, it to show it does still work, I believe. Like, but
Oh, you're
it
right.
does.
Yeah. Excellent.
Cool. So then submit all separately. The first two together, then
Yeah.
each one.
Oops, sorry about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me just remove the hidden. Okay. Yeah, it's now you should be able to submit it now.
All right. Thank you.
Well, let's see. Let's put something simple. 3 and 2. So the sum should be 5 and it should be 1. Yeah.
But I'm gonna meant to have that.
Okay, okay. So let's see. So 3, 5. So 3, rather 3 and 2. So sum in the just do this. Oh,
No, we did wrong with it.
yeah. No, instead of 1, we use calc summary, and instead of 2, you use calc summary 2. So calc summary 1, and calc summary 2.
Thank you.
Another question. I saw that you did for the upper values.
Oh, one second. Before I forget. This is something interesting that you're reading books. If you want to make this into a function call, you do this.
Oh, you did show us that.
You did?
You showed us that.
Because when you read books,
Mhm.
unfortunately,
That's the
I
new
don't know why
method, right?
they always tend to use the latest method.
That's
So
easy though. So like,
yeah, but once you know what it does.
yeah, then it's easier. But I saw that you did upper value. You did each uppercase to uppercase for each first name and last name. Is the better method, or not better, but like the newer method to put it all into one and do it as one? Or is it better to like do each first
Actually,
name and last name?
I have to think about it.
Okay.
The processing, which one would require the better method would be the one that requires less processing. So the issue is
Okay.
which one is less.
Do like one line each.
The faster one basically would be the best one to use.
Do you know all event and stuff like that? That's all. Yeah. Thank you.
I was just gonna ask, we post this video today, so
Oh,
I
okay.
have it. I just want to make sure I have everything correct by tomorrow morning, so I can.
So let me.
Professor, we have to submit everything or just number 3 for the extra credit?